Science. A science that studies everything, and is one of the things that will start the technological world we live in today. The world contains science. Everything has science. This is one of the reasons why people have extraordinary knowledge of everything. But, despite all our knowledge of science and technology, we still don't know much. What exactly is science? What are our technologies? What are its purposes for the people, for Filipinos? Is our government doing anything about science technology? Who are the famous Filipino scientists who are known in the field of science and technology? The questions that are on your mind will be discussed and elucidated by second-year students of
Science, knowledge,
and society.
So science and technology have played a crucial role in the progress and development of almost every country across the globe. It has made a significant contribution to every sector of the economy. Did you know that the country's socio-economic advancement is determined by its level of research and technology? It is also common knowledge that a country's ability to generate local industrial goods for home consumption is substantially connected with its advancement, and that industrialization is vitally important. The essence of how science and technology contribute to society is the discovery of new knowledge and the use of that knowledge to improve human well-being and address societal problems. There are many things in the Philippines that prove that science and technology have a big role in building our nation, and it is intrinsically linked to the development because they have a long history of bringing advancement that have resulted in healthier, longer, and wealthier, and more productive lives. And they are the key ingredients in solutions to the most serious problems and economic development challenges that we faced. Science and technology have made significant contributions to Philippine nation building as a result of the country's socio-economic progress and industrialization. Our country's current capacity for producing domestic goods as well as international research publication is actually improving. Our government is doing everything it can to improve science education, even though it is a challenging task, and we are slowly making progress. For example, it is easier for inhabitants to communicate with other people around the globe. The government should focus on funding and support for the advancement of science and educational fields, particularly in research and development. Furthermore, the Philippines has a long history of science and technology dating back to Stone Age. One of the first foundations is the discovery of tools to aid human life. During the Bronze Age, humans learned to use metals for tools and weapons, as well as domestication and agriculture. And as time goes on, all new discoveries and true developments lead to more knowledge and advancement in science. Medical science, on the other hand, has made a significant contribution to the cure and prevention of diseases, including the development of vaccines and the promotion of less expensive medicine. Also, economic progress through health sector as well as scientific research led to the development. Finally, the field of communication has seen a significant shift from internet usage to various cellular phone supplies. People from far distances can now see and communicate with each other in a matter of seconds. The establishment of research institutions such as the International Rice Research Institute is the most visible example of science and technology contributions in the Philippines, or IRRI. It is Asia's biggest non-profit agricultural research and development center. In the 1960s, it was responsible for the development of various cultivars that enabled rice to be grown on an industrial scale through Asia. IRRI cultivars or descendants of IRRI cultivars account for 60% of the world's rice crops. Science and technology are essential for every country's growth and development. In every culture, technology plays a critical role in wealth generation, improving quality of life, and real economic development and change. The basis of how science and technology apply to society is the development of new knowledge and then the use of that knowledge to improve human well-being and address societal problems. Physics, astrophysics, artificial intelligence, robotics, and other fields struggle in the Philippines due to a shortage of laboratories and scientific institutions devoted to them. However, because the Philippines has robust scientific facilities in fields like genetics, agriculture, food manufacturing, and conservation, a legacy of the American Commonwealth era. Filipino prefer to excel in those.
Science and Technology in the Philippines covers and analyzes the Philippines' scientific technological progress as well as the related policy issue, not just the science and technology management but of course the policy issue here in Philippines. The Department of Science and Technology, or what we know as DOST, is the primary agency in charge for the science and technological management, not just for the management, but of course the progress and the development of science and technology in the Philippines. It aims to prepare the country and its people to meet the needs of technologically driven world while educating people to live into a smart and scientific driven world. Because of the pulse of globalization, we have to live in that way. Now, the National Research Council of the Philippines, or what we know as NCRP, clustered these policies into four, namely, number 1, social science, humanities education, international policies and governance. Number 2, physics, engineering and industrial research and space sciences and mathematics. Number 3, medical, chemical, and pharmaceutical. Number 4, biological science, agriculture, forestry. What is its purpose? Its purpose is to improve the competitiveness of the Philippines in the ASEAN region. If we want to compete globally, we have to compete our country neighbors, which is the ASEAN. We belong to the ASEAN country. There are other existing programs in the Philippine government that they are supported in the science and technology innovation and invention. And it is available. And the following are a few of this are the number 1 is they provide the financing of basic scientific technology research, including the invention and innovation here in the Philippines. And of course, the basic applied research are both funded by our government. And there are various of studies and projects that are also supported by ODA. It means that overseas development aid from the various country, not just from the Philippines, but of course we accept support from different country. Secondly, they offer scholarship to all pursuing undergraduates or graduates in science and technology, and According to Saloma 2015, the country needs more PhD graduates. Why we have to do that in science and technology? Because we need more research. We need more science and technology to produce here in Philippines, and as well as more sectors in engineering to be improved. Third, we have to build more branches of Philippine science high school system. Why we have to do that? Because we have to establish and improve young Filipino that to engage science and technology. That school will instruct those young Filipino so that we have to build more buildings for science and technology.
So for the fourth project, research and technology parks should be established to stimulate academe-industry collaboration. The Balik Scientist Program, which encourages Filipino scientists working abroad to return home and work in the Philippines or to collaborate on research and projects with Filipino-based scientists, is the fifth intervention. The next is the development of science and technology parks on academic campuses to encourage academe-industry collaboration. First, the establishment of the National Science Complex and National Engineering Complex within the University of the Philippines Diliman that has the aim to develop more science and technology and engineering manpower resources needed by the country. Second, the establishment of national centers of excellence. Third, manpower and institutional development programs such as the engineering and science education program to produce more PhD graduates in science and engineering. Fourth, establishment of regional centers supporting specific industries leading the country in different research and developmental areas. Fifth, the establishment of science and technology business centers to assist, advise, and incubate technopreneurship ventures that also strengthen science education at an early stage through the Philippine Science High School system. As you learned the projects and programs being established in the field of education, there are also several science-related programs and projects that were created, and it is to develop scientific literacy of the country. In different regions, social science classes and special science elementary were organized and established. There's also the K-12 curriculum that included science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, as one of its major tracks in the senior high program to encourage students to enroll in science-related fields in college. Philippine California Advanced Research Institute was launched by Commission of Higher Education, enhancing the skills and expertise of faculty and staff of Philippine universities and colleges with the help of scholarships, training, and research partnerships with top-notch universities in California, USA. Our country is looking forward to begin various research and projects. These areas and fields are first, use of alternative and safe energy. Second, harnessing mineral resources. Third, finding cure for various diseases and illness. Fourth, climate change and global warming. Fifth, increasing food production. Sixth, preservation of natural resources. Seventh, coping with natural disasters and calamities. And eighth, infrastructure development. The Philippines Congress has also created various laws related to science and technology. This law serves as legal framework for science and technology in the country. These laws vary according to different themes such as conservation, health-related, technology building, and supporting basic research. Some laws and policies are in line with national or international treaties such as United Nations, UNESCO, and ASEAN. The development of policies in science and technology is shaped or influenced by several variable policies. Science and technology include policies, programs, and projects that is need to be aligned in national goals, international treaty, legal frameworks, and social needs, issues, and problems. Science and technology policy ensure that the whole country and all people will experience the progress that science can bring.
Now let us identify the 10 Filipino scientists who have made significant contributions to Philippine science. Ramon Cabanas Barba, he is a well-known Filipino scientist, particularly agriculturally involved individuals in the Philippines who are contributing towards advancement in the mango industry. He developed a process that causes the flowering and fruiting of mango trees 3 times a year instead of once a year, so dramatically improving yields. Josepino Cacas Comiso, he has been a leading physical scientist with the Goddard Space Flight Center and NASA since 1979 and has worked on research related to climate change ever since. Jose Behar Cruz Jr., he has made major contributions to the theory and practice of automatic control. His work in the 1970s and 1980s on the control of leader-follower systems is still considered one of the major contributions of the half-century in the theory of hierarchical control systems. Dr. Lourdes Cruz is known for her scientific contributions to the field of biochemistry, particularly on the isolation and characterization of the genome-code conotoxins from marine cone snails that can serve as painkillers and pharmaceutical probes to study brain function. Dr. Fabian M. Dairit is known for his cytochemical work for the development of lagundi as part of the National Integrated Research Program on medicinal plants, and his research was established standards for essential composition and quality factors of commercial virgin coconut oil and how it can be differentiated from refined coconut and copra oil. Dr. Rafael Dineros Guerrero III was recognized because of scientific and technical contributions to the growth of sex reversal and hatchery techniques that help the commercial fabrication of high-yielding market-sized tilapia in the Philippines and other nations. Enrique Mapua Austria Jr., he developed a meconium drug test, which has been proven as one of the most sensitive tests to detect the presence of illegal substances in newborns, and the use of meconium in the testing of the mother's abuse of drugs during the course of pregnancy. Lilian Formalejo Patena did research on plant biotechnology, and she developed a tissue culture for garlic. Tissue culture is a way of producing numerous disease-free planting materials in the laboratory for mass production in the fields. Mary Jo Panganiban Ruiz is known locally and internationally as an expert in graft theory and operations research, and her expertise is valued not only in the academic but in different industries as well. Gregory Ligot Tangonan, he is known for his research in the field of communications technology. He has been instrumental in developing applications of optoelectronics in radar, optical networking, and analog systems. Now let us move on to other outstanding Filipino scientists that are recognized here and abroad for their outstanding contributions to science. Dr. Cesar A. Salome is an internationally renowned physicist, and he was recognized for his contributions to photonics and signal processing. Edgardo Gomez led the world's first national-scale assessment of damage to coral reefs, leading to international conservation initiatives. He also pioneered giant clam breeding station in Bolinao and other protected coastal areas in the Philippines. Dr. William Padolina was recognized for his significant contributions in the field of natural products chemistry, coconut chemistry, biotechnology, and management of research and development. Dr. Angel Alcala is a world-famous Filipino ecologist and biologist with more than 30 years of contributions to the field of conservation biology. He also studied local birds, reptiles, and aquatic life. His theory, the 25% solution, enabled the sustainability of reef ecosystems.
Now, let's talk about how indigenous science and its systems were practiced by different groups of people in the earliest civilizations. But first, let us know what is indigenous. Indigenous, by definition, according to Merriam-Webster, it relates to the earliest known inhabitant of a place that was colonized by a now dominant group. Some examples of indigenous knowledge that are taught and practiced by indigenous people are the prediction of weather, the usage of herbal medicine, the preserving of food, the agriculture, the preserving and selecting of good seeds for planting, the building of local irrigation systems. Next is classifying different types of soils for planting based on cultural properties, and producing wines and juices from different tropical fruits, and lastly, keeping the customs of growing plants and vegetables in the yard. But you might ask, how indigenous people do all of this? Well, first, by predicting weather conditions and seasons using their knowledge in observing animal behaviors and celestial bodies. Second is by using herbal medicines to cure illness and preserving foods. Third is by classifying different plants and animals by their families and groups and selecting good seeds for planting. And fourth is by using indigenous technologies and building local irrigation systems for the farm. Any food that comes from a plant in the farm can be transformed into juices or wines. Through the help of technology, it makes the producing of goods in easier way, such as turning fruits into juices or wines. Indigenous science includes complex arrays of knowledge, expertise, practices, and representations that help human societies in their innumerable interaction in their natural milieu, the agriculture, medicine, naming and explaining natural phenomena, and the strategies for coping with changing environments. Indigenous science helps the people to understand the natural environment and in coping with everyday life. It uses process skills such as observing, comparing, classifying, measuring, problem solving, inferring, communicating, and predicting. It is the fundamental skills that needs to be developed. With the help of indigenous knowledge, we can do so much better.
The society is surrounded by science and technology. And those are what every citizen needs on a daily basis. In today's era, we cannot deny that we citizens are highly dependent on technology. From the time the technology was developed until today, science and technology have supported us and helped us in many things. Its contribution to education is also enormous. In fact, the purpose of technology is to change how teachers and students gather, access, analyze, present and transmit information. Thanks to science and technology, we have achieved easier, faster, and more effective communication, better, more efficient manufacturing techniques, less wastage, more efficient stock management and ordering systems, the ability to develop new, innovative approaches, more effective marketing and promotion, new sales avenues. The essence of how science and technology contributes to society is the creation of new knowledge, and then utilization of that knowledge to boost the prosperity of human lives and to solve the various issues facing society.
So beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that she don't see what